Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you today? I'm glad to see you again and then welcome back to my channel, Learning English with Nai. Well everyone, so many type of text that we learn in English, such as recount text, description text, and then procedure text, and then narrative text. But today we will learn about the narrative text. Do you know what the narrative text is? Or do you know what the narrative text is talking about? Okay, let's learn about the narrative text. Okay, first we will learn about the definition of narrative text. Narrative text is text which tells a story with complication or problematic events with a resolution to solve the problems, or an account of sequence of events. Okay, and then the next is social function of narrative text. The social function of narrative text is to tell the story about something or someone from the past event, or to entertain the reader or the listener with a story. Okay, and then the next we will learn about the generic structure of narrative text. Generic structure of narrative text are orientation, complication, and then resolution. And then the next, like we're talking about the orientation in the narrative text. In the orientation, this is the beginning of the story or of the text in which the writer tells the audience about who characters in the story are, and then where the story is taking place, and then when the action happens. So it will be in the first paragraph as opening the story. Okay, and then the second is complications, where the problem in the story develop, or the part of raising problems. In these complications tells us about the sequence of the story, and then this complication makes the story more interesting to read or to hear. And then the next is resolution, where the problem is solved in the story, or a satisfying narrative that gives us a resolution to fix the problem in the story, or to clear the problem in the story. It's like a part solving problem. And then we're going to the last, and then the last is reorientations. In the reorientation, it tells us about the final condition about the character, and then give us some moral message or moral value of the story. It's like a closing sentence of the story in the last paragraph. Okay, before we go to the example of the narrative text, let us know about the types of narrative text, like a fable that tells us about a short story about animal, or legend that tells us about human action or history of a place, and then fairy tales like Cinderella, Pinocchio, and then Snow White, and then the last is science fictions. But today we just learned about the legends. So after this, I will give you a story about the legend of Malin Kundang. I'm sure that you all know, and then you ever hear this story, right? Okay, let's go to the story. The Legend of Malin Kundang. Long time ago, in one village in Sumatra, there was a mother with a son named Malin Kundang. They lived in poor condition after the death of Malin's father. Day by day, Malin Kundang grew up and he became a young and strong man, brave and had a big dream to be a successful rich man. He thought if he lived in the village, then he would never be a rich man. One day, Malin Kundang asked for her mother's blessing to get some job outside the village. Malin Kundang said, "Mother, we can't live in this way forever. I want to be a rich man and I want to help you. I don't want you to live in the poorness. Thus, would you let me go to get money at another place? I promise I will be here soon after I get a lot of money." Mother said, "If you want to go, then you have to go, my son. You are no more a child, you are a young man and you should reach your dream. Forgive your mother who can give you everything that you need. I pray for you every day, and don't forget your mother here. You have to go home someday." After that, Malin Kundang started his journey to get rich. At first, he joined a ship to be a sailor. The captain was a good man, and he trained Malin Kundang well to be a good sailor. Malin Kundang was smart, and he could easily learn everything. Malin Kundang assisted the captain to hold his business. Years by years, the captain became older. He asked Malin Kundang to run his business. Malin Kundang was also lucky because the captain asked him to marry his daughter. After that, Malin Kundang became the captain, and he was very rich. The business was always good. After Malin Kundang was success, he forgot his promise to go back to his mother. He did not want to remember that he had a poor mother who was waiting for him for a long time. One day, Malin Kundang anchored his ship at his hometown. While running his business, he met his neighbor who remembered him. After that, his neighbor told Malin Kundang's mother about the coming of his son. The mother was very happy. She went to the harbor quickly to see his son. Unfortunately, Malin Kundang was too shy having a mother like her, who looked ugly and poor, so he rejected his mother. The mother was so sad, and her heart was broken because her lovely son did not want to recognize her as his mother. She was so disappointed, and she said a curse for her son, and all people belonged to her son. The mother said, "Oh, my dear son, how dare you to be like this to your mother? If you really do not want to hear me, then you are really stoned. You and your belongings are stones." After the mother saying that, Malin Kundang, his wife, and all of his belongings became stoned, which stayed forever at harbor silently and irremovable forever, as well as stone statues. Okay, finally we're going to the end of this video, and I thank you so much for your participation. Finally, we can learn together about the narrative text. I hope that this material can be useful for us, and I'm so sorry if I do any mistakes. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.